We're traveling to all 50 states with our kids and staying in the coolest family-friendly short-term rentals we can find along the way. In Maine, we split our time between a tiny house on a 70-acre livestock ranch and on a boat at sea, learning firsthand what it's like to be a lobsterman. Now, with Maine in the rear view, it's time for our next adventure.
Maine, New Hampshire!
If you saw the title of this video, then you might be confused as to why we just said New Hampshire and not Massachusetts. We already went to New Hampshire earlier in our trip. You can check that video out if you haven't yet. And we just have a few more minutes in the car before we actually cross the state line into Massachusetts.
New Hampshire, Massachusetts. New state unlocked.
We just crossed over the border into Massachusetts, which marks state number 21 on our family's big adventure of visiting all 50 states in 5 months. Stephen and I have been to Massachusetts several times. Nash has even been here before, but he was just a tiny baby. I think he was like 6 months old. So we are excited to be back. We are going to some places that we have been before, but we are going to be seeing and doing things that we have never done before in these places.
Today's strategy is pretty easy. We like these compact New England states. We've only got about 80 miles of driving to get to our destination for the night. We are going to make a stop in Boston, and while we're parked doing some sightseeing and eating lunch, we can charge while we're parked, and so that should be all we need to do today.
As we drive towards Boston, I'm going to be pulling the kids off the iPad. We are going to be doing a little bit of history time, both reading our U.S. history book and watching some videos on the Boston Tea Party because of an activity that we have planned later today. It's time to share our Massachusetts bucket list. We have 5 items on the list, split into our time in Boston and our time near our short-term rental for this state. So in Boston, we want to walk in the footsteps of the founding fathers, and we are also planning to commit an act of treason. You'll just have to wait and see.
We are also going to sleep in a lighthouse, take a beach walk, and bake some cookies.
That was Vera's ad.
We started our time in Boston with a quick lunch at Quincy Market before spending the afternoon exploring the city by foot. The red Freedom Trail line led us down cobblestone streets, past old brick buildings, and through some of the most historic corners of the city. Normally, this long of a walk would have been a struggle with the kids, but something about following that red line made it feel like a scavenger hunt and kept their attention for miles.
Oreo popsicle, and it's
Boston.
really cold out in Boston.
In Boston.
Nash is learning American history this year, which can be kind of boring if you're just reading books. So here in Boston, there's a lot of American history, including the Boston Tea Party. So we're going to go on a Boston Tea Party interactive tour here in a few minutes.
My name is Mrs. Abigail May, but you are more likely to have heard of my husband, the self-established young merchant, Mr. John May.
I'll take you all to this! There you have it! Our governor refuses to send the tea back to England. The time has come for you, the people of Boston, to decide what to do.
This tour ended up being such a fun way to experience Boston's history up close. The actors pulled the kids right into the story, and tossing the tea into the harbor was definitely the highlight.
Had such a fun afternoon in Boston. We were only planning on staying for about 3 hours, but we went to look at the tour availability, and earlier it had been wide open, and then suddenly everything was full and they didn't have any open tour slots until 4:30. So we are going to be getting to the short-term rental for this state later than we planned, but so glad that we did the tour.
The tour was very good. Twilight here in Boston, and we're headed out of the city now.
Do you want to take a video of the sunset?
I am. I've got the dash cam going. It looks really nice. There was definitely parts of that tour that went over the kids' heads, but I think at this age, the goal is exposure to the topics and the ideas. And I think having that hands-on experience was really fun for them, and definitely glad we stuck around and did it.
Something they'll remember, I'm sure, as we study continue to study history as their schooling goes on.
So in every state that we stay in, we are looking for the coolest kid-approved short-term rental. And it's been a while since we have looked at the listing together. I don't even know if the kids remember which one it is in this state. Do you guys remember where we're staying in this state?
Lighthouse.
Yes.
Wait, what?
We are staying at Jolly Captain Lighthouse in Yarmouth, Massachusetts, which is right at the start of the Cape, where, Nash, you have actually been before, but you don't remember because you were a baby. We usually like to get to the short-term rental before it gets dark, but we just really wanted to stay in Boston a little bit longer. So we probably won't give you a full tour tonight, but we will definitely give you one tomorrow.
Whoa, founded kitchen. 2 upstairs. It is 2 upstairs. There's 3 upstairs. We're going up to the very top. Dad, this is cool.
The lighthouse.
So cool.
I can't believe we get to sleep in the lighthouse.
This is Jolly Captain Lighthouse, a local landmark in the Yarmouth community. Originally constructed in 1960, it didn't serve as a working lighthouse, but as the office building for the old Jolly Captain Motor Lodge. More recently, the hotel was converted into condos, and in 2024, our hosts, Krista and Maria, bought the lighthouse as a family renovation project after their parents read about its sale in the local newspaper. Every inch of the property impressed us, and we were so excited to meet Krista and Maria in person to learn more about what it's like to operate such a unique space.
Hi.
Hi guys. Nice to meet you guys.
You mentioned the renovation, which we talked about a little bit before this. Tell us, what was the biggest challenge in the renovation process?
I think there was many, but I will say a few. First, I think, was the radius part of the lighthouse.
Everything's circular.
Everything's circular.
Stuff you usually buy is square or rectangle.
Yeah, so that was a major challenge and major hurdle. Me and my dad, Paul Mazzola, me and him were designing and just trying to figure out how to lay out the kitchen and the bedrooms and everything, and just trying to find space for storage and stuff.
How long did the construction process take from when you acquired to when you were ready for guests?
I think it was about a year and a half.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so it was a long process.
Kind of talked about maybe expanding the portfolio. Is that on your minds?
I think that's in our horizon.
Okay.
Me and my dad, and I think Maria, we've talked about expanding our portfolio. We're looking. My dad has always talked about looking for an old fire station.
That's cool.
Always unique places.
Yeah.
You don't want anything that
Cookie cutter, normal.
We always want a big project, just like the lighthouse.
You guys did an awesome job just creating it to be your space, and to be super functional and super well thought out. So I think that's a great idea. You find a unique structure like a firehouse that you can create a cool guest space there. That sells. Well, thanks for the chat.
It was so nice getting to chat with Krista and Maria and learning a little more about the history of the lighthouse and their purchase and setup and just how everything's been going for them. We always love talking to the hosts that we meet and getting to hear their stories. So that was a fun thing for us too. Now we're taking a quick trip into town. We just have to pick up a Amazon pickup order for a few things that we needed and get a couple groceries. And then we're just going to go back and hang out at the lighthouse today.
If you watched our main episode, I mentioned that we had someone who handles Coachella festival workers that was interested in booking midterm rentals. She actually booked 4 the other day. She came back now and wants 2 more. So I'm using Uplisting to just acknowledge her direct bookings and say thanks for booking. But that's 6 houses that are now booked fully for the month for the festival. So really nice set of income there.
Let's read some
I
interesting
can't
facts
see.
about Massachusetts. You guys want the giant milk bottle first?
Yes.
Hood milk bottle next to the Boston Children's Museum is actually an ice cream stand. If it were real, the 40-foot tall bottle could hold 58,620 gallons of milk.
Wait, the children's museum?
Yeah, so we were right there.
We will?
Yeah, we should have read this before we went to Boston. The Children's Museum was right by the Boston Tea Party ship.
Wow.
The Fluff Festival in Somerville, I think that's how you say it, honors the sweet hometown invention of marshmallow fluff. Try a Fluffernutter sandwich, which was a PB&J with fluff instead of jelly. Oh, this is interesting. State favorites. The favorite muffin is corn muffin. Favorite juice is cranberry juice. And did you know that there are a bunch of cranberry bogs out here on Cape Cod, just like in Wisconsin? Not as many as in Wisconsin, but they do produce cranberries here.
Next, we're both gonna try the first cookie.
Vera's bucket list item for the state of Massachusetts is to bake cookies. So that is what we were doing when we were at Trader Joe's earlier. We got some of this pumpkin and spice snickerdoodle mix that she picked out, and we are gonna get baking.
That's good.
You gonna eat all of that?
No.
We just left the Jolly Captain Lighthouse. That was such a cool spot. They did an amazing job on the renovations there. Seeing the before and after pictures is just so impressive.
Yeah, the chat with Krista and Maria yesterday was really cool just to hear the story about how they found the place in the paper and then decided they needed to have a lighthouse and did all those renovations. It turned out great, very comfortable stay, and the kids loved, just the uniqueness of saying you stayed in a lighthouse, and everything was very cool.
We know that when you buy a unique property like that, it could be very tempting just to rely on the uniqueness of the house and not really put much effort into the renovations and the guest experience. And they really did both, and that was really cool to see.
Yep, everything was really high quality, really well thought out. It's tough to deal with a round structure that gets smaller as you go up, and they did a really nice job of executing all the details, and turned out great.
If you'd like to stay at Jolly Captain Lighthouse, we will leave all of the details down in the description box of this video, including links to their Airbnb listing and their Instagram account.
We decided, since it was kind of rainy and cold yesterday, we didn't go to the beach, but today it's not rainy, and we figured we can't really visit Cape Cod without visiting the beach, so we're going to take a little quick stop here, have a look at the beach.
Glad we did a little beach stop back there. It was cold, so the kids didn't last very long, but Nash really liked looking at all of the horseshoe crab shells, and he spent the last 30 minutes watching YouTube videos all about horseshoe crabs and wanted to share a couple of interesting facts that he's learned.
Horseshoe crabs have 10 eyes.
10 eyes?
Wow.
You said they're not actually crabs?
They're not really in the crab species. They're in spider and scorpions.
Never knew that. Did you learn why they shed their exoskeletons?
They need to, like, you know how snakes shed skin? It's like that. They need that to glow.
Very cool.
We are almost to the border of our next state and just wanted to reflect for a minute about our time in Massachusetts. Everything turned out great. We had a nice time in Boston. I'm glad we had time to kind of focus on Boston, do some of the historical tour and sightseeing there. And then the lighthouse was really cool. Really neat experience getting to stay in the lighthouse, something different. It was set up really comfortably and a really nice time.
Both Boston and the different times that we've been out to Cape Cod, it's just a really fun, relaxing place to go. Boston's a really cool city, and I know that we're gonna come back again sometime.
Massachusetts, Massachusetts, Massachusetts. Hey, Mom. Yes. Can you still, like, put on the light thing?
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
That's why it's called a lighthouse.
Yeah.